The World Financial Group business model offers a unique opportunity to help make financial independence and wealth protection accessible to a diverse group of people. Their mission is to help individuals create the life they want to live while protecting their loved ones and planning their financial legacy. Interested in joining WFG? Go to their website at www.worldfinancialgroup.com/JJRetired to learn more. All right, let's welcome in our guest, Kemba Walker. Kemba, what's good, my man?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. So we had you on a previous iteration of the podcast way back when in 2017 or 2018 during the summer. I believe my son Knox was there. Tommy was not co-hosting with me at that point. So it's great to have you on. We're going to touch. I feel like we should touch on all the stuff that has happened since then.
Yeah.
And I just was telling you, I was at the game last night in the Garden. You guys were playing the Pacers. It was my first time in the Garden as a non-player watching a basketball game.
Yeah.
And it brought me such great appreciation for two things. Number one, having a full arena of fans. And number two, how great New York Knicks fans are.
Mm-hmm.
Has that part of it been everything you expected?
Oh, yeah. No question. It's been everything I expected and more. Like, that building is so electrifying. Like, a lot of times when, you just grinding out a game, fourth quarter or whatever, like, the energy that the fans in that building give you it's like second to none. It's crazy. I've played there over the years a lot. And, it'll be one time, two times a year maybe. But to be able to get the chance to play there multiple times, 41 times a year is like the most unbelievable thing. So it's special.
What was your initial thought game one against the Celtics when you stepped on the court? Just like putting your career in perspective, knowing you're stepping on the court as a member of the Knicks.
My initial thought was like, just wow. I was just like, wow, like I'm really playing for the Knicks. Like I'm really from New York, like born and raised, junior high school, played high school basketball, like played in all the street ball tournaments. Like I'm really, really a kid from New York. And to put that jersey on was like super, super special. Like when I walked in that night and I seen my jersey hanging up in the locker. And I've seen it before that because preseason and stuff like that, obviously. But that night, it really just solidified everything. So it was definitely just, one of the most special moments in my career.
Can you kind of take us through the circuitous route of how you got to the Knicks and sort of when you got a sense that you were going to be traded from the Celtics? You end up in OKC. When you figured out you're getting the buyout and sort of if there was any other option or if you were always just going to end up in the Knicks once you got traded?
Yeah, to be honest, I had no idea. I didn't have a sense at all that I was going to get traded. It just happened. I was on vacation. And unfortunately, I kept getting these calls from my agent. I wasn't answering.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but it's just
it's all good.
This is the life of an NBA player.
Exactly. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Yeah, my agent called me. I missed it. And he texted me. He's like, man, you just got traded, man. You just got traded to OKC. And I'm like, okay, like I guess, But yeah, from there, it is what it is. I've been around so long. I just, I know the business. I've had many friends get traded in the weirdest ways. I've seen guys get traded in the weirdest ways. So I guess I was pretty much prepared for a situation like that. But then, OKC, I talked to Sam and, he was great. he was actually just unbelievable, man. He showed me a lot of respect. Um, he was fun to talk to. He checked up on me a lot. Um, he helped me, with a little bit with my recovery. As I was with OKC at the time. I got a chance to go out there as well, meet some of those guys, meet the staff. And then as time went on, he kind of told me that, I probably wouldn't be there, that he would help me, find the best situation for me, which he did. I was actually on vacation. I was in the Dominican Republic for my sister's wedding, and my agent got a call that the Knicks that they wanted me, and I was in awe from that day on. Just goosebumps throughout the day, and just another, just breath of fresh air and excitement for me to, be playing for the home team. So that's pretty much how it went in the grand scheme of things.
So I want to sort of look back on that time period of Sam telling you he was going to get you to a better situation for you. I'm not knocking OKC situation, but a better situation for you at this point in your career. And Sam is obviously one of the best GMs and an ultimate professional.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so from the time you got that call that the Knicks were interested, was there any talk of a trade, or did you kind of get the sense that ultimately you were going to get a buyout and then end up in a different situation?
Yeah, I think it was ultimately going to be a buyout. That was the talk, around the situation. And it was cool, what can I do? What can I do? And plus, I didn't lose too much at all from the situation. So, like I said, Sam, he took care of me, man. Like, he was unbelievable. He was great. He was very great. And I appreciate him for sure, for helping me out and helping me get back home. And, just the way he treated me, that means more than anything to me.
When you ended up in New York and you're looking at the roster, this was sort of an observation I had last night, and even to a degree with your time with the Celtics, is that you spent the first part, a large majority of your career up to this point in Charlotte as the primary ball handler and the primary playmaker. And then you go to Boston and you've got Jayson Tatum, you've got Jaylen Brown, you've got Marcus Smart, who also runs a lot of pick and rolls and averages a decent amount of assists. And then you go to the Knicks and you've got Emmanuel Quickley and D Rose and Julius, who basically is a point guard masquerading as a four-man. I mean, he's a point forward.
Yeah.
And how hard over the last 2 or 3 seasons has that adjustment been? And I don't know, maybe if it was taxing with the amount of playmaking you were responsible for in Charlotte, but certainly there was some relinquishment of those playmaking responsibilities. How hard has that adjustment been?
It's not really that hard, to be honest. For me, I just want to win, man. Like, literally, like, I just want to play basketball at a high level and have fun while doing it. Yeah, I had a lot of responsibility in Charlotte. Tons, but I kind of had to as well, just over my time there. We didn't have a lot of playmakers like that, and I was always there with a lot of young guys as well, who were just finding their way into the league and, trying to find their niche and stuff like that. Then, I got to Boston where I knew, I knew what it was going to be. I knew from playing against Jaylen and Jayson, their talents and, how special those guys are going to be over the years. And I knew Marcus, was, going to have some responsibility at the point guard as well. And I just thought about it as, these guys just taking some pressure off me, which they did. I just wanted to be there and do what I can to help the team win. So that's my only goal. And the same goal is here in New York. I just want to do what I can to help these guys win, help guys, reach another level. I knew I was coming here with Quick and D Rose. Like, D Rose is one of the reasons why I was even more excited to come to New York, because like I've always loved D Rose and the kind of person he was and his work ethic. He's hurt his knee a few times, but he's still here to this day. He fought his way back to being the player that he is again. He's a special dude to be around. So I wanted to be around him. Julius, I seen what kind of year he had last year. I wanted to see if I could come here and help, just take some pressure off him as well, because he had a lot of responsibility as well last year. So that was my ultimate, thought process going into these situations. And it doesn't work out everywhere. Like, it happens. I've been around some guys who are great players, but it just doesn't work out all the time. That's just the nature of the game. That's just the nature of the business. And just got to move on and just stay focused and do what you can do.
What's the Tibbs experience been like so far?
It's fun, man. It's fun. He's super intense, which I love. He doesn't let anybody, cut any corners or, just slack, which I appreciate a lot. So yeah, it's been a fun experience. He's a great guy to be around, especially off the court. I think, I don't know if many people know about his personality off the court, man. He's like super cool, super down to earth, always joking, and I think it's great to kind of have that balance, as a coach. So yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
I was observing his body language last night throughout the game. And I had played for Rick Carlisle last year in Dallas, and Rick was I was basically sitting right behind the Pacers bench, behind the scores table. And Rick, very different body language, although yes. Rick can get angry. And I think intense is the right way to describe Tibbs.
Oh yeah.
And we've heard so many stories about, guys coming in late at night to get shots up, and Tibbs lights in his office are still on. He's still at the office, or you guys get there at 6 a.m. And I'm just curious if you've seen that, if you can validate all those stories.
Yes, man. Like, it's so true. Like, there's been plenty of times where I'm going back to the facility, and it'll be a few of us in there, few of the guys in there, and he's either already in his office or he's walking in. And then the thing about him is, like, he gets so excited as well. Like, he gets so excited. Like, I remember one time I was in there late, just doing my own thing. I had my headphones in, and I turned around and I see him. He's like, yeah, like just hype, bro. Like, he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm just like, wow, this guy, like, he loves it. He loves it. Like, he loves it so much, man. It's pretty incredible for a guy who's been doing it so long, Like, he's coached so many great players, so many great teams. And, I feel like at a certain time, I don't know, people might lose their love, but not him, man. He loves it.
To that point, someone once said to me about Tibbs that he's married to the game of basketball. And what's really shocking, well, not shocking, but what's really reassuring and surprising is that throughout his, 40 plus years of being married to the game, he still loves the game that much. I mean, I'm married. I don't know if you are, but like, you have good days and bad days. But Tibbs is all in all the time. It's unbelievable.
Oh, all in all the time, man. It's incredible. It's incredible.
You guys obviously added more playmaking. We saw the sort of the burden that Julius had to have last year in the playoffs with the Hawks. You added more playmaking with yourself and Evan Fournier. There has been a little bit of slip. Probably Tibbs is probably on you guys about this in terms of your defensive rating and where you guys stand relative to the rest of the league. But where do you think this team stands right now in terms of being a contender? And what do you think you guys need to do to sort of get over that hump, get out of the first round, and make a deep playoff run?
Well, first of all, we just, as far as me and Evan, we just got to find our niche, with the group. Things are still new to us. It's still a new starting five, We're still trying to learn the whole situation, our spots, and where we're going to get our shots at on a nightly basis. And we're still trying to gel just as a group. And, we have been struggling, and we definitely know it. At the end of the day, just got to find a way. We just got to find a way to be a lot better, especially to start those games and to start the second halves and things of that nature. It's just going to take time. We just got to just continue to build, continue to learn each other. I don't really know. I don't really like to, get ahead of myself as far as the playoffs and things of that nature, because we still got to get there. And
right.
Anything can happen throughout the course of a season, which but I think we only getting better. I think every day, we're going to continue to get better, and at the perfect time as well. That's really all that matters.
What have you noticed about RJ so far? We spent a little bit of time with him, JJ and I, and it seems like defensively every year he seems to take another step up, and he kind of represents sort of what Tibbs represents as a coach. What have you seen as a new teammate of his?
He's really fun to be around. I think he loves the game, and he takes challenges. I think that's very, very important in our league, especially a guy at his position, who's always going to have to be guarding the best players. A lot of the best players are at the wings, and he's that guy we look to get stops. And I think for him, he loves the challenge. That's what I see in him, which is really exciting for me, because you just love competitive guys, and he's very, 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 very competitive, which I love about him.
We'll probably come back to the Knicks stuff in a second. I do want to go back a little bit to your 2018-2019 season. It was your third straight All-Star appearance with Charlotte. You made an All-NBA team, but I specifically want to talk about about a 60 ball you had against us. It was my second year in Philly. We had I believe just recently traded for Jimmy.
Yep. That was like his second game or so.
Yeah, second or third game. And I'm not going to lie, of those 60, I probably got 2 of them. I feel like Jimmy got like 40 of them.
Man.
But what do you remember from that game? Because that was, I mean, I played against and played with some amazing players who put on amazing performances. But that to me was one of the most memorable performances of my career. What do you remember about that game?
I remember the night before. I think like maybe the night or 2 nights before we had a game. I think against Cleveland, and I had 9 points. I struggled, and I was pissed off, man. I was so pissed. And my coach, Jay Hernandez, came to me. He's like, hey, like, he looked at me. He said, it's all about the bounce back. That's what he said. He said, it's all about the bounce back. Like, forget about that. It's all about what you do the next night. We got a game coming up. So, like, I took that. I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right. Like, you're right. So, that was it. Like, that's all I needed to hear. And I remember I looked up one time and I had like 45 or something like that. I'm just like, I'm like, wow, like what's going on? I don't even know. Like, I was so in the zone. I was so in the zone that night, and I was trying to literally do everything I could just to win the game, man. Like, but that game was definitely, one of the most incredible scoring nights I've ever had. Like, I was just scoring in a bunch of different ways. I was in the zone. Like, I was so locked in. I was so locked in, and you know how it feels to be locked in.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because you kind of brought it up, but when you are in the zone and you're having a night like that, when do you become aware? Are you always aware, or when do you become aware of how many points you have? You said you looked up, like you looked up at the jumbotron, but like in general, I was kind of always aware, like I got about 20 right now, or I got about 5. You know, you always kind of knew, even on big scoring nights, like I got 27, whatever. And or a teammate would come over, you're at the free throw line when they're fouling at the end of the game, and you got 29, and they're like, "Go get a 30-piece, go get a 30-piece." You know. So in general, I always knew, but there were these moments where you get in the zone and you sort of black out.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, right there. Like I was literally just blacked out. Like I was scoring like just in bunches. And I had no idea until that one time I looked up and I had about 45. I think it was like the third quarter or something like that. I'm just like, what the? Like in my head, I'm just like, no way. Like, I'm like, all right, I got to go and get 50. And then next thing you know, like 50 just turned into 60. I'm just like that was one of the most unreal scoring performances I've ever had. Like we lost, but I was pissed. I can't lie. I went to my locker and I might have shedded a tear that night, man, to be honest. I was so mad we lost. Like, oh man, because I feel like I put so much into that game. Me and my teammates, man, we played pretty well that night. But you know, we fell short, and it just always sucks, like to have huge performances and take the L. And we lost in the game on last second shot, so that made it even worse. But you know, when you look back at special games like that, I mean, you just have no choice but to, still, be proud of yourself. Like for me, I'm just like I just saw 60 points in the NBA. Like like not a lot of guys did that. Not a lot of guys did that, and I'm one of them. So that was definitely a special moment.
I know I was giving Jimmy shit earlier, but Jimmy did make a buzzer beater to beat y'all that night.
He definitely did.
in literally his second or third game with us. So shout out to Jimmy. And speaking of which, by the way, I was going to bring this up. Jimmy did guard you a lot that night. I'm sure Ben switched onto you at some point. And I was thinking about just your sort of physical stature. And how you oftentimes are being guarded by bigger players, players with longer wingspan, hoping to deter your shot. Yeah. I know Ben guarded you a ton. Matisse guarded you a ton. You're when you were with the Celtics, and sort of how you navigate that, and how you think about creating separation against bigger players, and how you use your size to an advantage. What is sort of your thought process with all of that?
I rely on my bigs, to be honest. Rely on my bigs to screen those guys as best as possible, as well as my speed, my quickness, my handle. I'm doing everything I can to get those guys just off my body. That's the biggest part. Because when those guys are on me, obviously it's gonna be tougher for me to get my shots off. Obviously, those guys are just bigger and stronger than me a lot of the time. So, for the most part, try to use my speed and quickness, to my advantage.
So, Kevin, you were putting up 18 a night by year 2, but when did you feel like you were with what you're describing now? When did you feel like you were comfortable, like on a night in night up basis?
I would say my fifth year, my 5th or 6th year, I would say.
That's when you put up like 20 a year, 21 a year.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, whenever I started hitting that 3-ball, man, when I started hitting the 3-ball and the pull-up threes, that's when my life started to change. I remember Coach Cliff. He came in the first time I met with him, and he's like, he comes and he meets with me. He's like, you can be an all-star player. I don't know. I'm just trying to find my feet in the league. I'm not. I'm like, come on, coach. Like, But he's like, you just can't have guys go under the screen. You had to get your jump shot better. Like, you just had to. I put the work in every day in the summertime, during the season. And then, we got a shooting coach. He brought in a shooting coach. My 5th year, he brought in a shooting coach, my 5th year. Coach Bruce. And me and him, we worked for hours every day. And at one point, I hated it, man. Like, he changed my shot. Like, I've been shooting this way for 20 plus years. He came in, he trying to get me to change my shot. And I went back, and I'm like, Coach, like, I can't do it. It just wasn't working out for me. But Coach Cliff, he told me, he's like, don't worry about it. Just trust me. He's like, just stick with it for a little while. And, I love Coach Cliff for leading and everything. He's ever told me. And he was right. I stuck with it. Had some early games where I hit about 2 or 3 threes, consistently in games. And then my confidence started to come. And the rest was history, man. Like, as soon as I started shooting the 3-ball, it just changed my life.
I want to go back, and I've never asked you this before, and I'm genuinely curious about your free agency process when you left Charlotte and went to Boston. And from the outside, of course, there were reports, and I'd heard that Charlotte was unwilling to give you a max contract, despite the fact that you had made 3 straight All-Stars, that you were the face of the franchise, that you had made an All-NBA team. They made an offer. Whatever was reported, I believe, was still more total than the what you were allowed to sign with another team, which you ended up signing with Boston. And I'm just curious, in retrospect, had there been a max? Maybe there was a max, but had there been a max offer, would you have taken it, or were you looking for a situation to win?
If it was a max offer, I definitely would have taken it, no question. I did not want to leave Charlotte. Like,
really?
No, I didn't. I love Charlotte. Like, I still live there to this day. I love Charlotte. Love everything about Charlotte, organization, everything. I did not want to leave. But, I just kind of felt like, if I wasn't getting my max, that I shouldn't be there. I felt like I was, worth more, I feel like I've done so much there that, I kind of had to just move on. That was kind of my thought process in that situation.
Do you feel like you made the right decision?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do.
The reason I ask, we all have had free agency decisions, and some of them I think I nailed. Some of them I knocked out of the park. It was the right decision. Yeah. And some, I look back at them, I question them,
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, like, if you looked back and said it was the right move, it was the wrong move, clearly you have a real attachment to that city and that place.
Oh, yeah, I do. Like I said, man, I do love Charlotte, like, a lot. Do I feel like it was the right decision? I do. I can't take it back, but it's just my story. It's my story. It's my journey. Would I have loved for the way my story has been going to go this way? Maybe not. I would have never expected myself to have been traded or get a buyout from a team, and be picked up from another team through free agency again. No, not at all. But I don't think it has anything to do with my talent. I know it doesn't. The whole situation has just always has been my health and my knee. That's been the only problem. So, I can't be mad at any of it or how anything has went.
I was going to ask when we were talking about Charlotte for a second. Obviously, at UConn, you leave a national champion. You leave as high as you can get at the collegiate level, and then you go to a situation where you don't. We were talking about wanting to win, where you're not winning so much. How did you wrap your head around that, just on a personal level or with your friends and family or everything like that? Maybe not with the team, in terms of juggling going from the upper echelon of success into a place where, it wasn't happening so quickly?
It was tough. It was definitely tough. Like you said, like I had just came off of a national championship. Like I was on cloud nine. Getting drafted to the Bobcats. Life was just great, Then obviously, we had the showing season, and
say it, Kemba. Say it.
We won. We won 7 games. We won 7 games, man. It was rough. It was rough. I mean, we were losing. Like we were down 20 points, like in the first quarter. Second quarter down 20. Like it was rough. It was rough. But I'm gonna be pretty honest. The guys I had on my team, man, they were such great dudes, great vets. I learned a lot. I just kind of had to like switch my mindset, which was, and actually I'm thinking about it, like I was 21 years old. Like I was 21 at the time. For me to be thinking like that was kind of impressive, actually. I just was like, man, I'm gonna just kind of be selfish, and just grind this out. Like I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna continue to keep grinding it out, and just try to get better, and just try to learn the game, this NBA game, this new level of basketball. I'm gonna try to learn it as best as I could. I mean, that was kind of my mindset throughout that season, because we didn't have the greatest team, and we weren't winning so many games, obviously. So that was kind of how I had to program my brain.
I'll agree with you and co-sign what you just said. It is a very mature and impressive point of view to take, because it is taking a long-term view versus a short-term view. Because as someone who had won their whole life, that season could have broken and defeated a lot of people. I'm curious, going into that next year, though, was there a level of confidence from what you had learned or the game experience, was there any level of shame? Was there any level of shame of being on a 7-win team? No?
Nah, it wasn't no shame at
Fair.
all. Like,
all right.
It was definitely confidence. Like, I don't think it was shame on my behalf, because I feel like I played so hard every night. Like,
yeah.
I played hard. Like, I was trying to win. Like, I was trying to do whatever I can to help that team win some games. And then it was more so confidence. I was like I was just like, I got to go back to the drawing board, because the NBA is so hard. Like that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this league is so hard. Like I just came from college where I was dominating, and I'm getting to the league, and I would cross a guy, then I would try to get somewhere. Next thing you know, boom, he's right back in front of me. I would take a shot. I'm wide open 1 second, but by the time I'm releasing it, he's already back contesting my shot. So I'm just like, damn, like these dudes is bigger, faster, stronger. I got to do something to, improve my game. So that summer, after the season that we only won 7 games, like I went so hard, man. I grinded. Got a new coach. We did summer league and things of that nature. I played really well, really, really well in summer league as well. So going in, and then going into that season was the first season I was actually starting as well, which brought me great confidence as well, because I feel like they just believed in me. So yeah, it was no shame. It was no shame. It was just excitement, and just another chance to get a crack at it. I mean, even though that second year we still only won about 21 games or so, 21 or 22, but it was better than 7, so couldn't complain.
So I was going to ask about the 2015-16 year when you guys went to the playoffs down there and you lost in the game 7. Was there an element, obviously, you're a champion, so you've been at the upper echelon of whatever winning is, but like even getting that team to the playoffs from where they were, where you're like, this is a win just being here?
No question. No question. That was our second time in the playoffs. We made it actually my third year when Coach Clifford first came, and we lost. We got swept by Miami with LeBron and Chris Bosh and D Wade. Then the second time we played against Miami again, which was a great series, and nobody thought we would even get to a game 7. That team was super fun to be around as well. But yeah, that was a win, no question. I mean, just when you're unexpected to do things and you overcome and you push through, that means a lot. Regardless win, lose, or draw. And we had such a great team, great camaraderie, and we really wanted to get to the playoffs. Unfortunately, we fell short, but we lost to one of the greatest players ever to play this game. Guy was unbelievable, man. D Wade, he hadn't hit a 3 since December, and then makes 2 step back contested 3-pointers. Like, I just couldn't believe it. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, that's greatness. Like, that's greatness,
I know it's still fresh, and I know as you mentioned, there were some injuries with your knee. But how do you sort of look back on your Boston years?
I had a great time. And plus, it was a really rough 2 years, and not just for me, for the whole world. Like, it was a very, very difficult time with the virus going around. But as far as my first year, it was incredible. Like, it was incredible. We were having a great year. Then boom, the season stops. We're in the bubble. We had to go to the bubble. Went to the East Conference Finals. So my first year with those guys. That was a special time for me. Like, not a lot of guys can say they've been to the East Conference Finals. I wish we could have, got to the next level, but unfortunately we didn't. But I still had a blast with those guys. Then my second year, it was an okay year. Obviously I've had some injuries, so it wasn't the greatest year for me personally. But I have a lot of memories with those guys, like getting the opportunity to watch the growth of Jaylen and Jayson was probably the best thing that's happened in my time in Boston for me. Because I feel like I had a little bit of play in that, as far as just really being like a big brother to those guys, giving those guys confidence when things weren't going well. Those are my little brothers, and we've gained such a great relationship over the course of my 2 years there, and that's what I take away the most from that situation when I was in Boston.
If you want to give your family and friends something more memorable than a gift card this season, it can be tough to think of a meaningful gift. We all want a gift that's something useful, yet unique, cool, yet eco-friendly, techie, but actually affordable. Well, Hello Tushy bidets tick all those boxes. I mean, talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Who doesn't want a clean butt? The Hello Tushy bidets cleans your butt way better than wiping. It cuts your toilet paper use down by 80%, which saves trees and all the thousands of gallons of water used to convert them into toilet paper, and it comes with a book full of poop jokes. Tommy, my butt is in love.
That's true, JJ. It washes your butt with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. Simply spray and pat dry. It also attaches to your existing toilet and installs in less than 8 minutes. 8 minutes, wow. No electrician or plumber needed.
Join the millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now who take care of their Yule logs the dignified way. Give the gift of a clean bum to yourself or your loved ones this holiday season and get 10% off plus free shipping right now at hellotushy.com/3. And tag us at Hello Tushy on social media so we can celebrate your clean butt. One more time, that's hellotushy.com/3 spelled out for 10% off and free shipping. There's a lot of talk concerning the benefits of CBD, but it's hard to find reliable products. Well, Papa and Barkley creates award-winning CBD solutions for pain, stress, sleep, and everyday wellness. And unlike less effective CBD brands, they have an unmatched, clean, chemical-free, whole plant process with proven results. Papa and Barkley understands wanting the absolute best for the people we care about most. I know I'd want the best for my loved ones, and Papa and Barkley delivers on every level. I should also mention that every Pilates session that I have, I get a little foot massage at the end, and I use Papa and Barkley CBD. That's what I do.
Yeah. Papa and Barkley founder Adam Grossman created the groundbreaking relief balm to ease his father's debilitating back pain. From that powerful homemade balm, Papa and Barkley has expanded to a full line of topical balms, oils, tinctures, and capsules, all made with 100% natural clean ingredients and whole plant full spectrum CBD.
Today, they're the #1 cannabis wellness company in California, and with their new CBD Relief line, they can ship nationwide. Papa and Barkley is on a mission to improve lives through CBD in its purest, cleanest form possible. Go to papaandbarkleycbd.com/JJ for 20% off your first purchase. That's 20% off for new customers at papaandbarkleycbd.com/JJ. Hey y'all, the holiday season is once again upon us, and along with the joy and cheer comes something else, stress. Well, a good way to handle stress is with a good night's sleep. And the best way to do that is by sleeping on sheets from Boll & Branch. Boll & Branch was started by a husband and wife team that wanted to create a textile company that cared about the details that would make their products last. And you'll feel the difference in their best-selling, beautifully crafted signature sheets. Their smoothness, softness, and weight are unmatched. I'm telling you, I've slept in these for the last few months, and they are so comfortable, and the styles are great too.
Their sheets are crafted to the highest standards and have incredible attention to detail. And they have the perfect balance of weight and breathability to pamper warm or cool sleepers through any season. There are no middlemen between you and Boll & Branch, so you get luxury quality for the fairest price.
And they also stand behind their products by honoring a 30-night worry-free guarantee if you are unsatisfied. Tommy, that means you can sleep in their sheets for 30 nights and then just give the sheets back.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
To experience an entirely new standard of comfort, visit bollandbranch.com and get 15% off your first set of sheets with the promo code OLDMAN. That's BOLL and branch.com, promo code OLDMAN. As a player who has averaged 25 a game and been a high usage player and scored 60 in a game and played with other great players that are elite offensive talents like Jaylen and Jayson, is it difficult to find that balance given your own confidence at times in your shot making ability?
Nah, not for me. No, I've just always been a guy who just made the right plays. That's just who I am. Like, and I've been taught that, even in practice, like playing for Coach Cliff, even Tibbs now, when I was, the primary guy, I would get blitzed a lot, I would get double teamed a lot. So, we'll work on that in practice. We'll work on, me getting double teamed and, where guys should be for me to get off the basketball. And then, if I'm driving and I got two guys in front of me, I mean, somebody's open, and it's all about timing. It's all about timing. Like down the stretch, yeah, maybe you should be a little bit more selfish, because, guys are depending on you to, make big shots. Or just make the right play in general. So I don't think it's that hard to find that balance.
We were talking about D Rose earlier, and I'm curious if and this is probably for both of you guys, if you think he's such a respected figure in the league, sort of across the board from young to old. Do you think part of that is, he's a literal MVP, but he's come to these different situations and he's changed the way that he's played in different spots? Like he doesn't come in and be like, oh, I'm going to do this because I have that trophy. Like he just, no matter where he is, he sort of adapts to the situation.
Yeah, I think the most amazing part is like you would never know. Like if you didn't watch basketball, you probably wouldn't even know D Rose played basketball or was an MVP. That's how he carries himself. Such a great dude. And he definitely has a lot of respect around the league, from fans to players, coaches, everyone. Respects D Rose. And yeah, man, he's just a special guy. He's a special guy, and you kind of almost have to appreciate that, because he can definitely be here and he can, be this guy who wants to do everything, but he's not. He's coming in, he's playing his role. He's working every day, to improve. He's a great leader. Everything that a former MVP was, he still is today.
I haven't played with D Rose, but in you saying that, it's been said to me before by other teammates of his. It's a common theme about the type of dude he is. From the outside, the most impressive thing to me is just the resiliency.
Yeah.
Obviously, the resiliency to battle back from a number of injuries, but then the resiliency where he had like a 2 or 3 year stretch where he was figuring out who D Rose 2.0 was. And you could tell at times that was a burden, and he just kept grinding and kept down the path and kept doing the work. And version 2.0 of Derrick Rose is pretty damn good too. Maybe not MVP, but it's pretty damn good too. And that resiliency is really, really impressive.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to touch on, and Tommy, you can kind of chime in at the end here, but just Knicks fans in general. And obviously we talked about the Garden at the beginning of the conversation. There's the Bing Bong headline. There was the videos after wins early in the season. There were the videos out in the streets outside MSG after the playoff series with the Hawks last year, or after their wins in the playoff series against the Hawks. And you played in Boston, which I know one of those seasons there weren't fans obviously in the stands for most of that year, but is there a better fan base than the Knicks? A more loyal fan base than the Knicks?
Man, I'm super biased. You already know it's no greater fan base. Like like this, it's special. It's special because I just feel like they know the game, and it's fun. I think it's fun for the things that they cheer for, like they cheer for a guy diving into the crowd for a loose ball. They cheer for the guy taking a charge. They cheer for a guy making an extra pass. So I think that makes it really, really special. So yeah, to answer your question, no, there's no greater fan base.
Okay, but I have a technical question. So like after the Celtics game that you guys won after opening night, they had the Bing Bong night. They had a riot outside MSG.
Yeah.
Like, do you know that that's happening? Are you guys aware in the locker room that they're going that crazy?
Nah, we are not aware at the time. We a few of us just actually like watched it together on the phone. Like that was hilarious. Like that was super, super funny and very, very typical of New Yorkers. If it's one thing about New Yorkers, man, they love their Knicks. They love their Knicks. So that was very fun to watch.
I had a one more Charlotte question for you. Did you have any that you can share? Did you have any favorite MJ stories?
That I could share. Yeah. I mean, this is one that I kind of tell a lot. And this was, I want to say, my third year in the league, I think. No, my second year in the league. We had got a few guys like Ramon Sessions, who was a veteran. We had Gerald Henderson. We had just a few older guys than me. And I'm just like, this is my second year in the league. I'm still trying to find my way. And we're like mid-season. I don't think I was playing that well. I guess MJ, he kind of felt like, I wasn't taking on the responsibility that was supposedly passed on to me. I guess that year I was kind of given the keys, to the organization or so. So yeah, he pulled me into our trainer's office, and he sat me down, and he's like, "Stop deferring." He's like, "Stop deferring. Like, I didn't bring you here to defer to anyone. That's not why I drafted you. He's like, I drafted you to, play how you play and lead how you lead. Like just like you did in college." He's like, "That's the Kemba I want to see. Like this is your team. The rest was history." Like from that point on, man, I'm just like, first of all, I was just like, I don't think I barely heard anything he was saying, because I'm just looking at him like this is really MJ just sitting here talking to me and telling me this stuff. Like, no, I was tripping. Like, this is a guy who I idolize, man. Everyone loves MJ, as a basketball player, So, for him to be, giving me those words of encouragement was very special and encouraging for me.
I can't imagine how much confidence and how much motivation that gave you to hear the greatest say it's your team. Yeah, it's powerful.
So much, man.
Kemba, this has been great, man. We appreciate the time. I'll see you at the Garden soon. Hopefully courtside next time, not second row. Best of luck, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. You have a good night.